we turn to some of the day's other big stories, starting with a slightly lighter tone from President Trump after some harsh criticism of one of his own health experts. During a call with Fox and Friends, the president backtracked his criticism of Dr. Anthony Fauci.
He's a nice guy. The only thing I say is he's a little bit sometimes not a team player.
Meanwhile, the president's advisor, Dr. Scott Atlas, continues to clash with other members of the White House coronavirus task force, tweeting that masks don't work. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says the Senate will vote on a pre-election stimulus bill if the president and House Democrats reach a deal. But a source told CBS News that McConnell privately warned the White House against making such a deal. A grand juror in the Breonna Taylor case says they were never given the option to weigh homicide charges against the 3 Louisville officers involved in her shooting death. The juror says prosecutors only presented wanton endangerment charges. Touchdown! NASA lands a spacecraft on an asteroid. It will collect rock samples, then send them back to Earth in March. And those are the big stories on this Wednesday morning.
Okay, at 5:39, the one thing you need to know, even though we have a dense fog advisory, and it is really bad areas north of I-10, Galveston, not that bad this morning, okay? Your visibility is looking A-okay. We will continue to monitor our cameras, though. Coming up, we'll talk about our 7-day and our next 2 cold fronts on the way. Finally, I'll send it back to you.